lovely knitters. I'm so happy to see you again. My name is Calypso and welcome to a new video about knitting. And in this video I want to take you with me on the design process for a new top that I am making. As you may have already noticed from my other videos, I have a collaboration with Manos del Uruguay yarn. So I finished a cardigan and I designed the cardigan with their yarn Alegría, and I invite you to go and watch this vlog of that design, and also consider knitting as well the design if you like it. So this vlog will be kind of similar, or is based on the same idea. I want to take you with me on the design process of a summer top that I am making with Manos del Uruguay yarn as well. Because Manos del Uruguay was or has been very generous with me and offered to support me with yarn for 2 designs. So the first one is already finished, and now I'm working on the second one, which I'm really enjoying. So first of all, I would like to introduce the yarn. And the yarn is this one here. So it's a really pretty yarn. I really like the color. It is called Serena, and I can give you a closer look of the color and the yarn. The skeins are 50-gram skeins, and the composition is 60% baby alpaca and 40% Pima cotton. This is new for me. I really like knitting with yarns that combine animal fibers and plant fibers, but I haven't knitted the combination of alpaca with cotton, as far as I know, yet, but maybe my memory is also failing, because I knit since I've been knitting for more than 20 years now, so who knows. But yeah, so this is a really interesting combination. The yarn is really soft, and I'm sure it is really breathable and comforting to wear during the more warmer months in spring and in summer. But before you ask me in the comments, maybe I will just quickly explain what I am wearing right now. I am wearing a sweater that I designed myself, but there is no pattern for this one. This was basically something I improvised. I really like to improvise my garments, so often I take inspiration from other designers or from many different things that cross my life. And so this time I was inspired by a design from Georgia Farrell. We'll just insert a photo here so you can see where the inspiration came from. And then I came up with this sweater. So it is reversible. You can wear this cross here element in the front or in the back, and I will also insert a picture of this sweater from both sides so that you can appreciate it better. And I made it with yarn from Sandnes Garn. It's called Tin Peer Git. So this was only a small parenthesis about what I'm wearing right now. And yeah, so this is the Serena yarn, super pretty. I enjoy working with it. And as always, first I do a gauge swatch to picture the design and get a feeling for the yarn, because every yarn behaves differently, and it is really important to match well the yarn with the stitch pattern that I'm going to use in this case. So I want to make a summer top, something sleeveless, something also quick to knit and just easy to combine with your other clothes. Because I want to knit this bottom up and in the round, I figured that the most logical thing would be to cast on a good amount of stitches, or even to kind of already cast on the top, but only for the purpose of swatching and getting the gauge right, and also trying out some different lace and eyelets or patterns with yarn overs. So that's what I did, and I'm going to show you right now. Ta-da! So this is basically my swatch. It is like the bottom part of the top. As you can see, it fits me quite well. It has the right number of stitches, the right amount of stitches. So I didn't calculate it accurately before casting on, but just I think it's the experience and the feeling that helped me cast on the right amount of stitches. Later on, when I measured the gauge and I compared it to another top that has the right measurements I want to achieve, I noticed that this is already the perfect width. So yeah, that's kind of nice. So I can calculate a little bit less and it eases the process. So what I did first was a provisional cast on with the crochet hook, as I did as well for the Flower Rain Cardigan. So this is kind of something I'd like to go back to, a technique that I'd like to go back to, but maybe in the future I will mix things up and try different edges on different type of edges. Yeah, so first I picked a lace pattern, which is the one you can see here on the bottom. But you cannot see it that well, I suppose, because it didn't turn out really well. So this is what swatches are for when you're designing. I really liked the stitch pattern, which I have from the knitting stitch, the Japanese knitting stitch Bible. I found it really pretty and I thought it would be a nice ornament for the sides of the top. So I tried it out on this gauge swatch. But it doesn't really work well with the yarn. The decreases in one direction look nice, but the decreases in the other direction don't look that nice, and the definition of this lace pattern is just not turning out well. So I decided to try different things and to avoid decreases in either to the left, leaning to the left, or to the right. So I opted for making double decrease, which is centered, and I just imagined for myself a stitch pattern which you can more or less recognize here on top, so this kind of pyramid, and there are many mistakes in here, so it's not really neat and it's not that easy to appreciate, but nevertheless I'm trying to show it to you. So it has some mistakes, but maybe you can imagine that this here is like a flower, and I placed like flowers, different rows of flowers on top of each other, and I want to achieve an hourglass ornament on the side with this lace flowers. So I didn't invent the wheel new. I'm sure something similar already exists, but for this pattern, for this stitch pattern with yarn overs and centered double decrease, I didn't use a stitch dictionary. I just came up with it myself by having the chart on my Pages document. So I opened up a table and I started just drawing it with symbols basically, and trying it out at the same time while knitting. And I really liked the result. But as I said, this on the swatch here, there are many mistakes, so it doesn't look that perfect. But I'm sure on the finished design or on the real top, it will look nice. So yeah, so that's basically what I knitted. I then casted off the stitches because I wanted to wash and block this. But before, of course, I measured the gauge before washing and blocking and after washing and blocking, and it changed only slightly, but it has a little bit difference. And yeah, so this is currently where I am at, and I have done a little bit more already, and maybe as a help for myself, I want to have the same shape or the same construction as another top I have designed, or not exactly construction, but same shape. So this is the cerise cardigan. This is the first prototype I made of the cerise cardigan. I will insert a picture here of the final original cerise cardigan. There's a pattern for this cardigan top. There is a pattern for this cerise top, which is quite popular. And so this was the very first prototype. That's why the other two prototypes that I knitted and I also wear all the time are a little bit more cropped and have more negative ease than this one. But this is the perfect orientation for this new top, because I want this new top also to be a little bit looser around the body. So this one helps me to get the measurements and the shape right for the new top I'm designing. But the construction is not the same, because the Solis top is knitted top down, so from the shoulders down, whereas this one is made bottom up. So this is a big difference. Also, I wanted to make such a big swatch and in the round, because the gauge turns out differently depending if you are knitting in the round or flat. I kind of recommend that you make swatches as big as you can. Of course, I know it takes up yarn and it uses up yarn, and also it's time consuming. Most of the time it's better to invest a little bit more time in the beginning, in the planning of a project, than to realize in the end when you're finished that it doesn't fit perfectly, or that you didn't take something into consideration because of lack of preparation. So yeah, after making this swatch, this rather big swatch, and planning everything, starting writing the pattern and writing the chart down and testing all the different yarn over patterns and deciding which yarn over pattern I'm going to make. The lace pattern, how I made it here also on the swatch, is not exactly the same as I will make it in the top or in the finished design, because I want to have more space and more rounds in between the flowers, and you will be able to recognize the different elements of the stitch pattern better. Yeah, so after making this rather big swatch, in order to get all the information I need to start as well as I can with all the necessary information into the real pattern and the real knitting of the project. I forgot the beginning of my sentence, but I wanted to say to do a transition to the pattern, or to the garment, to the final top that I have casted on. So there it is. I haven't done much yet, but I must, in my defense, I must say that the provisional cast on with the crochet hook always takes a little bit of time to make, and especially if you're casting on the stitches in the evening, and I recommend that you count your stitches more than once, because in the evening sometimes when it's dark and you may be a little bit tired, you might easily get it wrong, the number of stitches. So it took me a little bit of time to get the cast on done, the provisional cast on with the right amount of stitches. So I knitted one row and immediately joined to work in the round. And there you also have to be really careful not to twist the stitches, yeah, so that you don't end up with a twist like this in your knitting. And this can be also a little bit annoying to do in the beginning, but as soon as you get it, as you have it set up, you can just start knitting. So first I start with a few rounds of stockinette stitch, and then I will insert or start with the lace pattern on the sides. And yeah, so that's basically where I am right now. And hopefully in the next section I will have knitted up the body, and so that I can show you the body, and before I carry on with the upper part with the separation and the armholes and etc, etc. So yeah, really I'm enjoying it for the moment. The yarn is really soft, it's nice, it's drapey. Hello, so this is part 2 of the vlog about the top I am designing with Manos del Uruguay yarn. I figured I would rather show you my progress lying flat on the table, because it's easier to show you around, as this yarn is really drapey, and it's easier to show it to you lying flat and explain to you lying it flat. So last time I showed you the swatch I did, and I experimented with different lace patterns, and in the end I came up with this lace pattern here. So this is the side. As you can see, I have already done the separation of front and the back, so I'm making this bottom up. I did a provisional cast on here, and later on I will make an I-cord edging or I-cord bind off here at the end. And I came up with this pretty lace pattern that has an hourglass shape and is made with kind of small little flowers and has this hourglass shape. So this is on the side of your body, and I did this on both sides, of course, under the arm or under the underarm, and the front and the back are knitted in stockinette stitch. So this is pretty. I worked to the separation of the front and the back. So here you can see the stitches of the underarm that are lying on, that are held by a safety pin here. So I will use these stitches to make an I-cord edging as well on all around the armhole and the straps of the design. So this is here, this is the front. So as you can see, I have done the separation on the same, on the other side the same. Here I placed the stitches of the underarm on this safety pin because I will use them later again to make the I-cord edging. And I have here separated this, these are the stitches for the neck that I also placed on, that I placed here on this stitch holder because I want to make an I-cord edging as well all around the neck and the straps here. It looks quite neat here, the decreases, but still I would like to have an I-cord to prevent the edges to roll in, and because I find that I-cords are really pretty finishing. So this will become the other strap. So this is the front. On the back, for now, I have only placed all the back stitches on this stitch holder, and I have also worked the decreases here for the arm of the armhole. This I have done, but I have not separated the neck from the strap stitches. In contrast to the front, on the front I have already worked I have already almost finished one strap of the front, and here as well I have worked this nice lace pattern, as you can see here, and I broke off a really long end here because I'm not sure if I will need maybe a few more rows to lengthen the strap, or if this is long enough, I don't know yet. So this is why I broke this off really long, and I will figure that out as soon as I have made the straps on the back as well, and I can try the top on. And I want to make also a 3-needle bind off of the straps together to join them. I want to do a 3-needle bind off of the straps in the front and the back to join them. So this is going really fast. This is the summer top. It's going really quickly and it's a lot of fun to knit. This pattern is really easy. I made a chart. There will be a chart in the pattern, so this is really easy to make, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this in the summer season. And see you in the next section of this vlog, and maybe I'll be finished already in the next section of this vlog. Hi, so this is the last part of this vlog about the Margarita top. In the meantime, I have baptized the top. I decided to call it Margarita because yesterday I went to the Castle Sanssouci, which is a little bit outside of Berlin, and it was really pretty, and the gardens were really pretty, and there were many Margarita flowers which are really cute. So I decided to baptize this Margarita, also because the lace pattern reminds me of these small and cute flowers. Yeah, so in the meantime, last time I think I finished off, I had just separated the front from the back, and I had put some stitches on hold here at the underarm. And what I did next was, I don't remember which one I knitted first, either the front or the back, but yeah, I made the front. I did of course some decreases here for the armholes and also some decreases here at the neck after I placed the stitches for the front neck on hold. And yeah, so on the front straps I decided also to place some cute margaritas here. And the back, I did it a little bit higher than the front, and also placed some margaritas here at the center, but not on the straps. Yeah, and finally I finished off the design with a I-cord. So what I did was unraveling the provisional cast on that I had here on the bottom, and I did an I-cord bind off. Next, I picked up again the live stitches that I left here at the underarm, and also picked up stitches all around the armhole on both sides, of course, and worked an I-cord bind off here. And I did the same at the front and the neck. So I took the live stitches that I had left on the neck front and on the neck on the back. I put them back on the needle and picked up stitches all around here, the straps, and worked an I-cord bind off as well. So now the only thing that is left, because I have already washed and blocked it, so I washed and blocked this, I washed it by hand in cold water, and so I just let it soak and gently washed it by hand, and then I blocked it also gently. And yeah, so the only thing that is left is grafting the endings here, the live stitches of the I-cords. So that's all. I think I've sewn in all the other ends that were left, and I'm really happy with the results. So this design went really quickly. I didn't have that many trials and errors with this design, because very often when I make up a knitting project myself, sometimes I have some trial and error and I have to unravel things or think through it again. But this time I only experimented with two different lace patterns, and in the end I kept the second one, which I kind of came up with myself, because the first one was not turning out that pretty or that neat with this, in combination with this yarn. But then it really flew off my needles, and it was really easy to make, and I just enjoyed making it. So I'm really looking forward to the pattern, which will be as soon as you can watch this video, you will be able to find the pattern on my Ravelry and on my website in 9 different sizes. So and also in English, French and German. Yes, I really am happy with this design. I have worn it once, and maybe later today or this week I will go outside and take some pictures for the pattern and maybe some videos and insert them here, so that you can have a better look at it, of how it looks worn. And yes, I really like the lace pattern that I placed here on the sides, on the underarm. I think it embellishes your figure and is also easy to make. So this is a really quick knit if you want to expand or start building your hand knitted top collection. And also the yarn feels really good on the skin. It's super soft and very light. So it's a great feel on the skin. It's really comfortable wearing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your versions of this cute little summer top, and I can't wait to wear it myself and to enjoy the summer with this Margarita top. See you soon in the next design vlog. Bye bye!